the increase at the beginning of the row should go in the direction of the edge of the beginning of the row. So if the edge is going to the right, then we want the increase to lean to the same direction. We need to increase 2 stitches, one from the front layer and the other one, the purl stitch, to the back layer, because we always want pairs of stitches. So let's begin with the front layer. Is the first one. The knit stitch is always the first one in the pair. And if the chart says that our stitch is a dark stitch, the box that has the sign of the increase is a dark one, then we need to increase a dark stitch. And we want to use a dark strand. We're going to make one right. And when we make one right, we want to use a strand that goes between the 2 knit stitches. But we want the dark strand because that's the color we're going to work. Now we have 2 strands here, always. We always have one light and one dark. And we want the dark one to be in the front and to cover the light one. So when I go with my left hand needle to pick up the dark strand of yarn of the 2, and I can see that we have the light over the dark one, I want to take it underneath the light strand, because when I bring it to the front, I want it to cover the light one. I want the light strand to be at the back. And now let's see if I'm on the right direction. I'm looking at the strand that I picked up and I can see that it is leaning to the right. So I know that I picked it up at the right direction. When we're making make one right, you need to pick it up from the back. All right, so we picked up the strand from the back. It is leaning to the right. And we can work it with our dark color. Because it's the second pair, we don't need to twist the yarns. And we want to make one right, we are knitting into the front leg. It's pretty hard because everything is quite tight here. I'm going to take my right hand needle and just pull it and make some space, and now I can go in with my right needle and knit the front leg. So we increased 1 stitch for the front layer. Now we need to increase a stitch for the back layer, and this will be a purl stitch. If we're looking at the front layer, whatever is leaning to the right, when we look at it from the back layer, it's going to lean to the left. This is why the next stitch is going to be make one purl, but make one left purl. So I'm going to pick up the light strand. I can see it, it's the only one that is left here, that remained here. And it is right behind the strand that I worked. I'm going to insert whatever needle, it doesn't really matter. If you feel comfortable to use your left needle, you can come from the front and pick it up. If not, you can go ahead and use your right needle to pick it up and place it on your left needle. And we need the left needle to come from the front into this strand. And we can see that our strand is leaning to the left, so we know that we're good. we're taking both yarns to the front and we need to purl it, but when we're making make one left purlwise, we need to purl it to the back leg. So now I want to go into the stitch and pull it backwards so I can have room here to insert my right needle. I'm gonna hold it with my thumb and I need to come from left to right into this stitch. It's a bit fiddly, but eventually you can work it out. I'm going to take the light color now and place it over my needle and pull it through. Take it back through the stitch and make one left purlwise. When I'm making the increases, I really don't hold the yarn like I always do, because again, it's fiddly. You need your hands to work the stitches, so don't worry about holding the yarns. You can just use the yarn when you need it to make the stitch and just leave it and use your hands to work the stitches. Now we can take our yarns to the back and continue working the chart as we need to. And we have 2 new stitches here on the needle.